Hey, everybody, I'm Jen, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something called control. You may be familiar with this, whether it's something that you seek, something you feel you have a lot of, or too much of, not enough of. Um, and I'm going to frame it from the perception or perspective of codependency um, and trauma. So, when we talk about something like trauma, trauma is when something happens to me and I lose a sense of control over myself. Something happens to me and I lose trust in my ability to keep myself safe. Um, and that safety can be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic. Um, so I learn very quickly that in order to feel safe, to regain some of that sense of safety, I need to regain that sense of control. Um, for many of the us, this starts really, really young. I have memories myself of feeling that loss of control and that loss of safety within myself. I mean, I have memories from 3, and I suspect knowing the story of my family of origin, the histories of my mother and what happened to her and my grandmother, I feel like it goes back even further than that. So when we lose that feeling of safety and security, that trust that I can keep myself safe, that trust that or that sense of control that I once perceivably had, um, what happens is I go looking for it outside of myself. This shows up in many people as people pleasing, perfectionism, and peacekeeping. So, the 3 Ps. Um, People pleasing is essentially trying to control how other people feel about me. Um, I might say yes to a play date with another mom because I want that mom to like me because I don't want her to feel disappointed that I said no. Um, I don't want my son to feel disappointed that I said no. I don't want them to not like me because I wasn't accommodating. Um, People pleasing can look like going along with something it doesn't feel so good in my body. It's a self abandonment of what feels good in my body so that somebody else feels good about me. Um, Perfectionism is controlling how other people see me. So rather than seeing me as fallible, rather than seeing me as capable of making mistakes, um, rather than seeing me as a hot mess that I sometimes can be, perfectionism controls or is an attempt to control other people's view of me. If everything's in place, everything's perfect, everything's checked off, nothing's out of nothing's out of order, um, everything is right, then nobody can think poorly of me. Nobody will have a negative view of me. Um, Peacekeeping is trying to control how other people feel. So, not directly about me, but still trying to manage the emotions and the feelings of other people. So, peacekeeping can be mediating. So, for me, my backstory is growing up in a house where my job was to, when my dad and my mom would argue, get in the middle and try to make them stop. Um, make sure that they loved each other, reminded them how much they loved each other. Um, Peacekeeping can also look like conflict avoidant. So it might look like if my husband does something that causes me to feel angry, um, rather than confronting that or saying, "Hey, that kind of pissed me off. Could you not do that?" Or having a conversation about it. Conflict avoidant peacekeeping would be, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep the peace. I don't want to make a conflict. I don't want to cause conflict. Um, or I'm going to just kind of go along with whatever the group wants to do, and I'm not going to say anything about what I want to do. I don't want to be contrary. I don't want to cause that that conflict. Um, so people pleasing, control over how others feel about me. Perfectionism, control over how other people see me. And peacekeeping, control over how other people feel. Um, the thing is, these all give me a false sense of control. Um, I might be able to influence how other people see me. I might be able to influence how other people feel about me or how other people feel. I really have no control over that. The only thing I can control is what's going on inside me, and what I do with that. So my behaviors. Um, that's called an internal locus of control. External locus of control, trying to control other people and my environment. Internal locus of control, controlling me. Um, what comes to mind with that is I can reframe some of my thoughts. Um, I can access the loving parent part of me to reparent my scared inner child, who's the one who's pushing me to control the things outside. Um, so not wanting to disappoint the mom that we're going to have a play date with because I really don't want to go. Um, my inner child is the one saying, "Oh, she's not going to like you. She's going to be disappointed. My son's going to be disappointed. People are going to think you're a bad mom because, well, now that's inner critic. People are going to think you're a bad mom because you're not doing this play date." What I need to hear is my loving parent, and this is the reframe that I can give myself. This is all happening inside, is it's okay if you don't want to go. There'll be other opportunities to go. She'll understand. Maybe she doesn't even want to go. It's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. And if she is disappointed, that's okay too. It's not your job to fix that. When I am able to do that for myself, I'm now in control of my thoughts. I'm now in control over how I feel. And I'm in control over what I'm going to do next. The next best thing for me is to cancel that play date, is to reschedule that play date, is to maybe get a rain check on that play date. It's okay. I kind of visualize this as having a ripple effect. When I feel chaos internally, it has a ripple effect on my emotions, on my behaviors, and it affects the people around me. So the chaos inside turns into the chaos outside. Same thing with chaos outside trying to affect the chaos inside. So it's these kind of dissonant waves now synchronizing. So if that happens with chaos, that can also happen with calm. If I'm calm inside, it helps to inform calmness rippling outside. Um, The example that comes to mind is I can't make my son stop having a tantrum. I can't just tell him, "Stop. No, we're not doing this. Stop crying. Stop yelling. Stop screaming. Stop kicking." That's not going to happen. The more worked up I get, the more worked up he gets. That's that kind of everything synchronizing. When I can control my reaction, the internal locus of control, and I'm able to either stay calm or regain my calm, um, it ripples out to him. It helps him calm. And that's called co regulation. When we co regulate, that's the ripple effect of calm. Um, the other image that always comes to mind when we talk about control is if you've ever gone to the beach and you've grabbed a handful of sand, the harder you squeeze it, the more kind of trickles out. So the harder I try to grasp it, the more of it I lose versus scooping up the sand and kind of holding it loosely or gently, cupping it instead of squeezing it, the more I'm able to retain in my hand. So same thing with control. The harder I try to control something, the less control I actually have over it. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.